Okay, let's talk about something most of us have done, but we hardly ever talk about out loud. That decision to cut someone off. But more than that, let's really get into the psychology of why choosing to do that can feel so surprisingly deeply right.
Sound familiar? You know that moment? It's not about being angry or petty. It's this wave of profound relief. You didn't reply, you didn't pick up, and guess what? The world didn't fall apart. In fact, everything just got a little quieter, a little calmer. If you've ever felt that and then thought, wait, is there something wrong with me for feeling this good? The answer is a huge, resounding no.
And this brings up a really interesting paradox. I mean, all we hear about is this loneliness epidemic, right? That we all need more connection. So why on earth does choosing disconnection, making the choice to cut someone out, bring on such an incredible sense of peace?
Look at this number. The U.S. Surgeon General says that 1 in every 4 adults feels totally isolated. And yet, when you let that call go to voicemail, you didn't feel lonely. You felt free. And that's not a contradiction. It's your gut telling you something really, really important about the kind of connection you just disconnected from.
Think back for a second. You weren't always the person who could just walk away. You were the dependable one, weren't you? The friend who'd answer a call at 2 in the morning. The one in the family who was supposed to keep the peace. You were the sponge that soaked up everybody else's drama. You answered every single time. Until, you just couldn't anymore.
That moment you finally didn't answer, that wasn't weakness. It wasn't you being cold or mean. That was your nervous system yanking the emergency brake. It was doing exactly what it was designed to do. And the science behind it is actually fascinating.
So there's this incredible concept called Polyvagal Theory from Dr. Stephen Porges. And what it basically says is that our nervous system has different modes. It's not just fight or flight. There's a whole setting for social connection and, just as important, a setting for self-preservation.
Think of it like this. When you feel safe and connected, your brain is in social engagement mode. You're open, you're present. But when you've been drained one too many times by people who just take and take and take, your brain literally flips a switch. It shifts you into shutdown mode, withdrawal. Your nervous system is trying to save energy because you only have so much of it. And it's decided that this particular connection just isn't safe anymore.
So the next question is, where did your nervous system even learn that shutting down was the right move? Well, for a lot of us, the answer to that goes way, way back.
Maybe you grew up in a home where you had to instantly scan your parents' faces when they came through the door. You learned that somebody else's bad mood could suck all the air out of the room. That closeness and chaos sometimes felt like the same thing. You got really, really good at sensing tension before anyone even said a word.
And you have to understand this. That's not a flaw in your personality. It's a survival blueprint. It's a map your younger self had to draw just to navigate your world. And now, as an adult, that same map gets pulled out whenever a relationship starts to feel like a threat to your stability.
Okay, but here is where things can get a little tricky. We have to talk about the huge difference between protecting your peace and just building walls that trap you. Because there is a fine but critical line between healthy protection and harmful isolation.
And the stakes here are really high. The CDC is clear. Long-term social isolation can raise your risk of heart disease by almost 30% and stroke by over 30%. That's serious. But what those stats don't tell you is that being surrounded by the wrong people can be just as damaging, if not more so.
So how do you tell the difference? It really boils down to this. Walls are built out of fear. They're reactive, they go up fast, and they block everyone out, the good and the bad. But boundaries? Boundaries are built from self-awareness. They're proactive and they're selective. Think of it less like a fortress wall and more like a fence with a gate that you control.
So here it is. Here's the simplest test. If you removed someone from your life and the main thing you felt afterwards was peace, like this deep, quiet relief, that's not isolation. That feeling is data. It's your nervous system giving you the all clear, telling you a threat has been neutralized. That, my friend, is protection.
This brings us to another really powerful way to look at all this. That sensitivity you have,
the thing that sometimes makes you want to pull away from the world, it's not a bug, it's a feature. You're not paranoid. You're not overly anxious. You're just incredibly perceptive.
You don't make these big decisions out of nowhere. You make them because you've become an absolute expert at recognizing patterns. You see it, don't you? The friend who only ever calls when they need a favor. The family member whose compliments always have a little bit of a sting to them. The person who overwhelms you with affection and then just vanishes. You see the cycle coming before it even starts.
And this isn't just a hunch, it's actual neuroscience. Studies have found that people who went through emotional stress early in life actually develop more activity in the threat detection parts of their brain. So your system isn't broken at all, it's just fine-tuned. It's been trained by experience to pick up on social cues that most people completely miss.
And all of this leads to our final and maybe most important reframe. Society has a lot of words for this kind of behavior, right? Isolated, withdrawn, antisocial. But those words are so loaded. They assume something is missing. What if we just used a different word? A more accurate, more empowering one?
This distinction is everything. Loneliness is the pain you feel from the absence of a connection you desperately want. But solitude is the peace you feel in the presence of yourself. It's a choice. You're not sitting by the phone hoping someone calls. You're enjoying your own space, finally able to hear yourself think.
You know, people who don't get it will say you're running away. But you know the truth. You're not running from anything. You're running towards something. You're running toward a life that feels gentle instead of chaotic. That's not isolation. That is sanctuary.
So, what now? Does this mean you're just meant to be alone forever? Not a chance. In fact, one of the longest studies ever done on human happiness, this 75-year project at Harvard, found that a happy, healthy life really boils down to just one single thing.
And that's it. That's the secret. It's not about how many friends you have on social media. It's not about the size of your circle. The number one thing that predicts your long-term health and happiness is the quality of your relationships. So if your circle is small, but it's full of people who genuinely see you and have your back, you're not just doing okay, you're doing it right.
So we'll leave you with this one question. Because protecting your energy, your peace, it's not selfish. It's one of the most powerful things you can do. Your peace is a precious, precious resource. And the real question isn't whether you should let people in. The question is, who has truly earned access to your peace?